So today we're going to look at how to open a data file in Excel and then create a table, a data table. So here we are in Top Hat, and in your tree along the left side here, there should be a folder called Data Files. And we're going to use the very first one, Student Survey Data 2010. So click on that and then say that you want to download the file. It'll download that. You'll see over here into Excel. Then click on that file and it'll open in Excel. This is some stuff I'm doing with uh, COVID data. So you may have to, the file opens in protected mode, so you have to click on that so you can start editing it. This is a survey that was done in 2010. A large group of students, 811 students participated. And these are their survey responses to a very broad range of questions. You'll see that it's got a lot of very cryptic column labels, Q1, Q2, and so on across. And there's a very large number of these columns. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going. It ends with Q57, but you can see there's lots of parts to many of those ones. So there's probably close to 100 variables, and there's over 800 students here. When examining a data file, it's all too easy to go and accidentally change something or delete something, and then you can't get back. So the very first thing you should do is to go up here to File, go to Protect Workbook, and I'd like to protect the current sheet. And I'm going to lock those cells that I have in it. I could put a password as well to unprotect it and make up something that you're going to be able to remember. This workbook has 3 sheets. There's one called Data that comes up first. There's one that's called Question Numberings, and it tells me what were the questions in the survey, though some of them are somewhat cryptic, like this term, are you a what? I don't know. And then if I go to interpreted data, question 4 is this term, you are a full-time student, part-time student, co-op student. Okay, so if I go back to data, question 4, I see 1's 1, 1. That's probably full-time students, and I'd expect 2 means part-time student, and 3 means co-op student. Ideally, we should have a full data dictionary that explains everything that's in this data table. Now, I'm not going to work with the whole data set. Normally, I only work with part of it, and I like to copy the data I want to work with into a blank sheet. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to usually want to take the ID as one of them. So I'll copy that, the plus sign down here to add a new sheet, and then I just paste it in. And then I can go back here. I'm going to also want to take Q3, 5, and 7. I'm going to grab all of them. I don't want. So I don't want question 4, and I don't want question 6. That I want, there's a group of questions here that has to do with students' expectations about finding jobs and earning money when they graduate. So I'm going to take all of those ones. I'm going to put them in there. And then there's a bit of demographic data I'm going to want. It's way over here. So I'm going to take these columns, copy them, paste them in. I just don't happen to want this one. So what are these ones? That would be useful to be able to give us some names so that we know what these things are. So question 3 was, what year did you start? I'm going to call that start so I can remember what it is. Question 5 was, what program are you in? Question 7 is, where are you from? Where's your home? Question 14A was, how long do you think it's going to take you, or how difficult to find any job at all at graduation? And then, how about a job in your major? Or one that's going to pay you the salary that you would like? Or that is going to be where you want to live? Oops. That's how much you thought you were going to earn. That later. This is going to be how long. This was what your gender is. And this one here is your age. Let's see, trying to think. This is your parents' education. And this is your language. So now at least I know what the columns mean. I'm still finding these numbers in here very cryptic. And in the next video, we're going to look at how to recode them to be something that's more sensible. We're going to find a good way to work with this table in recoding and doing any other types of examination if we transform it from just a table full of numbers into a data table. So go up here to Insert, go to Table. Excel grabs everything, all the columns that we've got and all the rows that we've got. I don't know if you can see this, but it starts at A1, that's in the top corner here, goes to N812, which is the last row that there's data in here. It recognizes that there's a list of headers at the top, there are words at the top, and other stuff below it. And so just click OK. It changes the appearance. It now has alternating bands here that makes it easier for me to say, well, okay, who's this respondent here? Let me look at all of their responses. And I can read across much easier. And my header row up at the top with the labels of the different variables, it's got little arrows, and we're going to find those are going to be useful to us in exploring our data. But that's for next class. Before I leave, I should go and give it a new name. What the sheet is, I'll forget if I've got many applications. If you want to move that tab over to the end, you can do it over that way. If you want to keep things in order, you can slide things across and make sure you save it. Win, file, save as, find a place to put it, and so on. And that's it. We'll come back to recode the data shortly.